Greetings, my name is Maurice Emhoff with the Jackson County, Michigan Historical Society. Today's local history showcase highlights one of Jackson County's greatest gems, the Michigan International Speedway. For an institution that wasn't originally intended to be in Jackson, Michigan, the Michigan International Speedway has certainly made a significant contribution to the Jackson County area. With more than 250,000 people attending events at MIS annually, area officials estimate that racing programs and other related activities regularly inject millions of dollars into the area's economy. But that wasn't the original plan for Jackson County. Back in 1966, when Detroit entrepreneur Lawrence Payton was working to implement his long-held dream of a quality racetrack in the automotive state, he originally selected a site in Washtenaw County just south of I-94 near Saline. When the announcement of his proposed development was published, the Washtenaw residents strongly objected. Payton described the intense, packed zoning meeting that followed as one of the worst nights of his life. It was so contentious that, in fact, he even walked out of the meeting, but he did not give up on his dream. In early 1967, Payton found 800 acres of gently rolling farmland and woods along the Irish Hills north and west of the Cambridge Junction where US 12 and M50 cross. This beautiful location was not only picked for its proximity to Detroit, the Motor City capital of the world, but for its closeness to Chicago, Indianapolis, Cleveland, Canada, and the entire Midwest. Having been through a tough round before, Payton moved cautiously this time around. Only after he had found that he had broad community support did he firm up his plans, promising that the new track would be the yardstick by which every other race circuit in the world would be gauged. Ground was broken for the $5 million Speedway on September 27, 1967. Celebrities Sterling Moss, a renowned British racing driver, and Henry Banks, director of the competition for the U.S. Auto Club, attended this grand ceremony. The Speedway's architect was Charles Moneypenny, who designed the famous Daytona Speedway in Florida. Moneypenny designed the Michigan International Speedway, otherwise known as MIS, to be the world's most complete racing plant. It is easily accessible to more than 10 million people within a radius of 175 miles. Its tracks provide a banked, D-shaped 2-mile oval for the high-speed racing of all types of cars. It also provides a road course of 2.7 miles inside and outside the main oval and 2 road courses of about 1.7 miles each, with the curves that amplify this type of racing. A 1.9-mile infield road course was completed in late 1983, utilizing the existing paved surfaces. All parts of these courses are visible from the main grandstand, an advantage few race courses have. Many say that the race control tower, garages, and facilities for media are the finest in the entire country. To inaugurate the new speedway, a 250-mile IndyCar event was planned at MIS. In spite of this grand plan, the Jackson area businessmen were less supportive than Payton wanted. So in March of 1968, he delivered a speech to the 112 members of the Greater Jackson Chamber of Commerce, urging them to get involved. Whether they were inspired by Payton's speech or going to the realization of the Speedway's potential, Jackson area businesses did finally decide to get involved. Pre-inaugural race events included a display of cars with drivers and equipment in the Jackson area shopping malls, publication of an inaugural edition by the Jackson Citizen Patriot, distribution of 25,000 placemats to area restaurants, special buses from downtown Jackson to the race, and a helicopter service from the city's downtown urban renewal area to the infield of MIS. More than 55,000 spectators viewed the inaugural event. Michigan Governor George Romney, who previously headed American Motors, took to the wheel of the pace car the day before the grand race. Cale Yarborough won the first NASCAR race at the Speedway on June 15, 1969, in a thrilling duel with Leroy Yarborough. The two drivers battled door to door for most of the 150 laps. On their final circuit, they touched twice on turn 1, with Yarborough pushing the outside wall. They then drafted back down the straight and through turn 3. But while coming out on the final turn, Leroy Yarborough spun and crashed just 300 yards from the finish line, handing the victory to Cale Yarborough. From that first event to this day, drivers have called this track the fastest track in the country, with stock cars entering corners at a blistering speed of 220 miles per hour. Despite its success and innovation, the owners of the Michigan International Speedway had problems. If Low-Payton and his company American Raceways Incorporated were guilty of anything, it was trying to do too much too fast. While Michigan International Speedway had always been a profitable venture, other ARI speedways were a drain on the company's budget, and ultimately, ARI went bankrupt. In 1971, the company was forced to seek protection under bankruptcy laws, allowing the track to maintain its racing and testing schedules. In 1972, ARI went into receivership. That's when another visionary former champion and successful businessman, Roger Penske, picked up on Low-Payton's dream, purchasing the Michigan International Speedway for a whopping $2.9 million in 1973. Penske envisioned turning MIS into a premier motorsports facility. After the purchase was finalized, Penske went to work to improve the speedway to his standards. He invested millions of dollars on one capital improvement project after another with a goal of ensuring the Michigan International Speedway was one of the best speedways in the world. During Penske's ownership, the grandstands were expanded from 25,000 to over 125,000 seats, and numerous buildings were added to the property, including 3 garages, 28 pit terrace suites, an administration building, 2 ticket offices, a maintenance building, a warehouse, a sign shop, an entertainment shop, a competition tire building, and a motorsports international building. For over 25 years, Penske invested in the Michigan International Speedway long after the track's reputation was everything and more than he ever imagined it could be. He even added 2 racing-related businesses on the Speedway's grounds, Comp Tire and Motorsports International. Penske later rebuilt Nazareth Speedway in Pennsylvania using the same formula as he did here in Michigan, resurrecting the track out of bankruptcy. In 1997, Penske took his speedways and racing-related businesses public, forming Penske Motorsports Incorporated. In 1981, he announced the inaugural Norton, Michigan 500, making MIS the 6th track to run a 500-mile IndyCar race. The year 1981 also saw the American Speed Association Circuit of Champions cars make their first appearance at MIS. Police agencies from across the country have relied on the test at the Michigan International Speedway for their patrol car purchases. Michigan officials had distributed more than 800 copies of their findings each year, and the International Association of Police Chiefs reprints as many of 8,000 copies. In July of 1999, Penske Motorsports Incorporated was purchased by the country's leading premier motorsports entertainment, International Speedway Corp. ISC was founded by another visionary, Bill France, who built the world-famous Daytona International Speedway and founded NASCAR, the country's most popular racing series. In August of 2000, the Speedway unveiled a new logo and announced it would add the International back to its name, which had been changed to Michigan Speedway in 1996 to align itself with other Penske-owned facilities. In 2010, MIS unveiled its new suite and media center building along Pit Road, which features state-of-the-art accommodations for its visiting suite customers and visiting media members. On October 18, 2019, the next chapter at MIS began as NASCAR announced that it successfully closed its acquisition of International Speedway Corporation, merging its operations into one new company moving forward. Today, NASCAR, based in Daytona Beach, Florida, owns 12 different motorsports venues. These tracks include Daytona International Speedway, Talladega Superspeedway, Darlington Raceway, Homestead Miami Speedway, Richmond Raceway, Watkins Glen International, Phoenix Raceway, Martinsville Speedway, Kansas Speedway, Iowa Speedway, and Chicagoland Speedway, in addition to MIS. While the twists and turns of fate have brought MIS different owners, races, and innovations over the decades, one thing has remained consistent. The enduring track continues to be one of the country's premier motor speedways. It is indeed a raceway marked by rich tradition and a promising future. Thank you for joining us for today's Local History Showcase. I'd like to give a big thank you to Experience Jackson, the Michigan International Speedway, and Uncharted Film Co. for helping produce this video. Be sure to like and share this video, and I hope you'll join us for another. Thank you.